What's funny is originally when the computers first came out and the information was being traveled through the internet and these giant screens, that was an issue. People were reading slower, it was hurting their eyes, all that stuff. But apparently, according to a neurologist I was researching about, the article she was saying was over the time that we've been so accustomed to this, in addition to the increase in resolution, the better monitors for lighting,
people
like
being born into this generation,
or being born into this. It actually, there is no difference scientifically now between reading a book and this, except the fact of the font size. And not to mention, let's not even get to the point of convenience for bedtime. What do most people do, like me, if I do read, it's usually right before bed.
You pull out your phone and you sit there and you read.
Well, not just that, but with books, people had to have the lamp on.
Yep.
And they had to, read their book and try to get proper lighting. And, there was always a big thing of you have to watch it in the light because they don't hurt your eyes anymore because you're trying to focus so hard. But now, I don't have to turn off the lamp. I can turn off my light because I don't even have a lamp. I have to keep the light on to read my book. And then once I'm done, I have to get up, go turn that off, come back, and go to sleep. But with the mobility of a phone or a Kindle, you can now, instead of curling up to a book, you can curl up to a Kindle. And as soon as you're done, you just turn off the Kindle, all the lights are off, and go to sleep.
And I guess the way I look at it is, I know it's bound to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that
This
books are going to triumph. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm literally saying the only reason someone would have a physical book is for personal reasons. Because they're like, no, I prefer this. But for the sake of conspiracy and what is bound to happen for the future is that we're just programming ourselves into a system. Not the system, like the man or whatever. Like a system to where we all become one and interactive. I mean, look at Facebook now. It's going to get to a point where it's going to go beyond that. But I mean, think about something for a second. We're constantly being watched. We're constantly on our phones. We're constantly on our computers. We're constantly surrounded by
physical
technology.
Books are already doing that as well. I mean, every time we buy a book, we're increasing a statistic for a specific category. We are being watched at all times, regardless of physical or digital.
Yeah, we're being watched at all
Digital
times.
is just a permanent record.
But we're being watched at all times for physical books by a way of digitally. Because true, someone can easily get a book while you buy a book, and they go in this book and they mark off what book you bought. We've been recording data for years.
Well, even registers now will, as soon as a book is bought, it's processed immediately. Even Target, that was the whole big thing of they predicting the girl was pregnant. But it was just from a camera seeing her purchases.
And I mean, that's what I learned as an advertiser. You're always being watched.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you go completely nature freak, physical book, whatever, buying, loving, axe wielding, wood chopping man. There is a satellite up in space watching you. It's like people don't think that, but that's what you learn in advertising. What you learn in advertising is no. We don't look at you as a group. We look at you as an individual person. It's not like what do these guys want. It's what do Pierce like to do. Where does Blaine go on his free time? And it's creepy as hell, but that's the way it is.
But it benefits us in a way.
Well, I think the way we're looking at it is, oh, we're damned. Oh well. Like I feel like that's what we're doing. We're just going we're damned.
The biggest issue with, of course, everyone should know about the current issue with the government came out saying that they were trying to get rights from phone companies to record your texts and conversations. Well, the issue is that's been going on forever. I mean,
that's what I said in the beginning. I said they've been doing it. They're just going to let us know
is people don't understand. Everyone's panicking about this, and the issue is books, phone, computer, Google searches, whatever they are recording. It's not hurting you. It is not hurting you. They are not.
It's really just to help.
They're not gathering information to go up to, random dude on the street who's got a wife and 3 kids and he's trying to support his family. All on the weekends he, gets a little bit bored and decides to do some weird research and types in, like pony humping a frog or something on Google. Okay, well, he was bored and Googled something. But he's just some average random American guy. They're not trying to go and publish that information to the world and screw you over and ruin your life.
Then why do they need to know?
Because they need to know for security and advertising. That is their issue. Is the U.S. government is such a fickle and panicky conglomerate. They cannot handle not knowing about everything because they have the whole issue with they need to have everything covered. All their bases need to be covered at all times. So it's more of just to make sure that people are not speaking out against the government or doing bad things that could harm the government.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it is going to not hurt everyone, but it's going to hurt certain people. And if it truly isn't going to hurt everyone, then why do it in the first place? Just let
advertising comes into it as well.
Well, yeah, that's what I know. I know advertising comes to it. But why are we letting advertisers do that to us?
Well, the big thing, I mean, generally, everyone hates advertisers as a whole simply because I'm trying to sell you something that I try and make you think you need. But there are other circumstances that, due to certain things I buy in the past, an advertiser can go, well, based off of what you bought, what you said, what you do, who you talk to, when, where, and how, and what you post on Facebook, we've noticed that you kind of like Marvel. So we're just here to tell you, Avengers 2 is coming out, you should go see it.
Yeah,
It's trying to benefit me to a majority since
it's a dual side coin.
Yeah.
There's bad stuff and there's good stuff.
Well, that's
the good stuff, I believe, does outweigh the bad, and the bad does outweigh the good, really.
I think it's pretty
But the
balanced.
way I see it, though, is we're literally just going, oh well, and we just bend over and let them do what they want.
When everything's run off the internet and all this digital stuff, we can't do anything. Exactly.
There is no,
I mean, we could.
Look, there
We
is
just
no
don't want
bad to it, so as long as you yourself have not done anything wrong. That's the argument.
But that is what I'm talking about. People are trying to see, people are just trying to control us at the end of the day. At the end of the day,
It's always
true, murdering someone's bad. Okay? This is true. Murdering someone's bad. It is control. When a murderer is murdering someone, he's not going to go on the internet and type in, how to kill someone. And next thing you know, he's done for murder, and they look on his email files, and he sees that they did that. Murder doesn't do that. Of course, if you want to murder someone, you don't do it in the first place. But that's what I'm saying.
where you do it.
It gets to that point. People don't think like that. People don't think for a second, everything I type, they're recording. Oh, well, I don't do anything bad. But it's all a matter of what your government thinks is bad. Because we think it's going to stay the same.
Then that goes to a whole other conversation
Well,
of the difference between
But
right and
it's
wrong.
not what they think is bad. It's what the laws say is bad.
Exactly. And when it gets to a point where the law is slowly tightening its grip on you, get to the point where pretty much anything you do is bad unless you just go home and eat and probably look at My Little Pony and go to bed.
Because if right now, if I were to walk outside of my house, by your logic, what you just stated, anything I do outside of my house or do anything at all in my life, you saying that there's a law saying that's wrong.
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for future purposes, just for hypothetical situations. Like, let's just say if the world was somewhat like Joseph Stalin's world, it got to that point, and he had this ability, or a person.
But it's not. We live in America.
Well, that's what we always say. We always say this. We live in America. Nothing's going to change. And
Look, I agree that the government is wrong. Believe me, you know more than anyone, most of you,
I know.
how screwed over I have been by the government.
Yes.
But I do understand, from the government's point of view, that there has to be laws, and laws have to be there.
I understand that.
But also, the U.S. government cannot just randomly create laws when we've seen that in the past, because they have tried. Do you remember the whole issue with SOPA that tried to get passed?
But then another law, pretty much just like SOPA, got passed anyway because we were so distracted with SOPA.
It wasn't really like SOPA. If you get
But
down to the technicalities,
that's the thing that we do. That's the thing that we realize. We think that we're actually doing something when really they're distracting us for a little thing that we go, well, it's not that bad. And then more little things pass us by. And next thing you know, it's pretty much SOPA, but it's too late now because it's all
here's the issue. Is even if they pass all these laws, let's say in your world that you think is going to happen, which is not,
it could,
that everything that they could possibly think of, like me sitting here and completely zoning out and staring at a wall for 10 seconds, is against the law. A trial for murder for that. I mean,
but you're saying it to a point where just meaningless things. Yeah, no one's gonna care that you're staring at a wall. But I'm saying the simple stuff. Let's say you can't just comment on Facebook saying, fuck the president.
Okay. Well, let's say it gets to that point. We'll take that. I'll take that as your example. You say
Alright.
something bad about the president.
Yeah.
You say something bad about the president or the government, and that's an issue. Like it's gotten to that point where you can't even have freedom of speech anymore. Well, at that point, I'm sorry, but I know that the U.S. society here in the United States is really bad. I know that we're very complacent and we don't fight against a lot of things. But at the point where it attacks personal freedoms to the extent of we are basically being on house arrest at all times, I mean, when it comes to like a military state type of issue, the country's not going to take it. I'm sorry,
I
but
hope so.
that's how look at anything in the past. There has never been a ruler that has lasted long enough acting as a dictator.
But the thing that you're missing is that we have certain technologies that they never had, never dreamed of. Think of what if Napoleon or Caesar had the ability to control such a social thing that people from Rome all the way to Egypt are constantly talking to each other and they constantly have that information. True, a lot of the stuff people will be saying like, I gotta do San Jose, it's meaningless. They don't care about that. But the small little things they can get, it could just be tiny things to a factor of thousands, millions of things that the internet can hold. But that little thing can keep them empowered long enough to keep you down. That's what I'm saying. What I'm basically saying is I hope if this world of mine does happen, I would love for everyone to revolt against and everything go back down. That's what I hope
It
for.
wouldn't even need for everyone to revolt. All it takes
Is it 5
is
good hackers?
because
But it can go the
This is going back to what we were talking about at the beginning, our original subject
the
matter,
books.
which is books versus electronics.
Exactly.
Everything is going in this world towards electronic medium.
It's
So,
bound to happen.
therefore, if your world does happen,
Right.
all it takes is 5 or 6 people who are really, really good with computers or in hacking,
No, that's what I believe.
and they could easily take down the government. At this current
But
state,
the government can do the exact same
no,
thing.
that's the problem.
Not true.
Because the
No, well, I'm saying to a point where
let me put it in perspective for you. The government is a giant. He's a big, hulking giant that's coming after you. Now, I mean, say 50 stories tall. We're talking like D&D. We're going awesome now.
What's
Okay?
his AC?
So then you have 5 or 6 hackers. Well, this thing is huge, but these 5 or 6 hackers are tiny little people. Like no bigger than its
but they
pinky
have a
toe.
set of skills that can
But
take
they
it down.
have the skills that can take it down, and they're so small he can't even see them. That's the
He
issue.
saw you.
Is Chuck, the government is so big that with enough like little gnats biting at it at a time, it would tear it apart.
But see, revolution's bound to happen. I know that. It's just a matter of time. It can last for
In this
a
day and
long
age, it's going
time.
to be an electronic revolution.
But see that, yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, it's a matter of backbone. True, hackers are abundant, but the best of the best is small. But are they going to have the backbone for the time? Are we really willing to lose millions of people just so we're waiting for those great being hackers to basically go, all right, I think now's the time to take down the government because I'm sick of this.
Well, a lot of them have been working on attacking the government and finding ways around their information blocks, but the issue is they do it slowly as not to get caught. They're not trying to rush in
Yeah,
full
so
force.
No. I get that. No. That's battle strategy 101. That's gone back to day and age. You just don't go, let's kill them now. No. When a strong structure is
It's
made,
all about weakening them.
it's all about like guerrilla tactics. You slowly flank them, and then you finally get in, not actually completely destroying the set. You mostly just kind of get a little pinch in, so enough you can get in to kill the main target. I get that. But at the same time, all I'm saying is that we have to look at things that way. We can't just constantly think that, oh, this is alright, it's just some small thing and things like that. But that giant did start off small. Giants just don't come out of nowhere. Giants grow. That's how it happens. That's how, like for big businesses and things like that. Like the train and all these things, automobiles, it started off small. And when we thought at first, oh, it's no big deal, next thing you know, we're basically back at square one. And basically, this giant's in front of us. And true, we have these small amount of hackers. We won't have to do American Revolution all over again to that point of millions of farmers are going out with pitchforks and knives. But are we willing to just keep doing that? Are we willing to just ignore the history, let it repeat again, and not learn from it?
Now that comes down to, if you want to bring history into it, we don't have to do anything. We can sit back and just watch. The United States government will fall and burn. Because in history, democracies don't last that long.
No, it's true.
I believe, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
the statement was
we're
100 to
fast.
200 years.
Well, yeah, that's like America was supposed to, at a certain point in time, switch
was it
over to
communism?
another. No, socialism.
Socialism.
Basically like Canada.
Yeah.
And you sit at socialism for 30, 40, 50
And then
years.
switch
and
back
then
to
go
something else.
democracy.
But that's the thing. It's easier said than done.
Oh, of course. You can't just switch a system.
Which we're noticing now, we're actually trying to be a little bit socialist in our government. I noticed that. But that's the thing. We've been biting on the breasts of democracy for so long that we can't just switch over to the other breasts.
I acknowledge
of
that.
socialism.
That's the issue. Is the
We get used
U.S.
to
government's going to fail because of that fact. Because it has gotten so inground into this world power. We are, in our minds, we are the superpower
We're
of the world.
Superman. Yeah, we're Superman.
We cannot be stopped. So why would we ever switch from democracy, the great
Exactly.
American,
Mm.
our government style?
We're the good
What it
guys.
is. But see, the issue is eventually that's going to cause a problem, and the government's just going to fall because we refuse to adapt and change.
Rome all over again.
I mean, yeah, it's exactly.
Caesar in power. Caesar dies. Every other emperor after that was named Caesar. Then they just fall and burn, and everyone wears pants.
Anyways, thank you for watching. You've been watching Blabbermouth. This is Daniel. Pierce. I'm Blaine. Please subscribe if you're interested, or if you'd like to
Comments.
share it. Yes, definitely leave feedback. And go to our Facebook and Twitter and leave topics for our next episode. Thank you for watching.
We need it.